So let us see this question. Describe various forms of isomerism exhibited by carbohydrates. What is mutarotation? Name the carbohydrates present in glycoprotein. So coming to the first part of the question, as so ask that what are the several types of isomerism shown by carbohydrate molecules. So as we know that isomerism that are shown by carbohydrate molecules are mainly of two types, that is stereoisomerism and optical isomerism. And why are carbohydrates showing this kind of isomerism? The reason is simple, because the carbohydrate molecule has a chiral carbon. Okay, so in chiral carbon what happens is four different groups are attached to a single carbon atom, and this results in an asymmetry. Okay, and this carbon is known as the asymmetric carbon or chiral carbon. Now, so therefore if chiral carbon is present in carbohydrate, as we know, suppose we take the example of glucose, the structure is like this. The straight chain form. So now let us see. Suppose we consider this carbon, this green color carbon. So like this group is different, hydrogen. There is an OH group, that is a different group. Now this whole part is R1. This is also a different group, and this whole part is another group. So this is R2, and therefore this is a chiral carbon. Now several other carbons are also there, which will, this one is also a chiral carbon, right? Because again you see this group is different, this group is different, this group is different, this is also different, and this is also different. So like this we can see that there are chiral carbon present, and around each of this carbon there will be different types of stereo or optical isomerism. So now stereoisomerism, what are the different types of stereoisomerism? Stereoisomerism. So what this means, that in stereoisomerism basically the orientation of groups are different in this around the same central atom. So for example in stereoisomerism the orientation of H and OH group will be different around the central carbon atom, but the molecular formula will be same, only the spatial configuration will be different. Okay, stereoisomerism now is of several types. One is enantiomers. What are enantiomers? Enantiomers basically say that the same molecular formula same and the isomers are mirror images of each other. But non superimposable. Okay, so they are mirror images of each other and they are non superimposable. Okay, the next page, enantiomers. Another is diastereomers. Diastereomers are also kind of similar, but they are not mirror images of each other. Okay, and therefore they differ in more than one orientation around more than one carbon. Okay, and therefore they are not mirror images of each other. Next is D and L isomerism. Okay, so this is a bit confusing Do not confuse this D and L with the dextro levorotatory D and L. This is not any way related to that part. This D and L only refer to the orientation of the H and OH group around the parent carbohydrate glyceraldehyde, and in reference to that we use it here, like the orientation of H and OH group about the penultimate carbon atom. So suppose penultimate means second last. Okay, penultimate basically means second last. Sorry for the typo, I'm typing really fast. Second last. Okay, so suppose this is the carbon coming, this is the second last carbon, this is the last carbon H, and this part is also the same. See, on the second last carbon the orientation is different, right? And so these can be considered as DL isomers. Okay, so if the OH group is to the right, then we call D isomer, D glucose, and if the OH group is to the left, then we consider it as L isomer. For glucose it would be D glucose and L glucose. Next type of stereoisomerism is anomerism. Okay, what is anomerism? So as we see that we have often seen glucose in either a ring type of form. The structure is kind of like this. I'm not drawing the exact thing. Either glucose can stay in a ring form, okay, or glucose can stay in a chain form, right? Like this, chain form or ring form. This is a very rough drawing. So if this chain form is put into water, then we see that glucose assumes a ring form. This conversion from chain form to ring form results in formation of another asymmetric carbon. Sorry. Carbon, and the arrangement of H and OH group around this new asymmetric carbon result in another type of isomerism. This is known as anomerism. Okay, usually there are beta and alpha anomers, so alpha and beta forms are present, and therefore this is known as alpha and beta anomerism. Okay, and okay, so the part about isomerism is done. So a quick review: glucose, carbs, you can say there's two kinds of isomerism. There's stereo or optical. Stereoisomerism is enantiomers, your diastereomers, and there is enantiomer, diastereomers, anomerism, anomers, and D and N isomers. Optical part I haven't talked about, but let's see. The optical isomerism is basically rotation of plane polarized light. Okay, and it is denoted by D or L, small d or small l. This is dextro, means rotates the plane polarized light towards the right side, and this is levo, which means that rotates the plane polarized light to the left side. Okay, so dextro and levo rotated, and there is a spelling mistake here. it would be LIVO. Okay, so the stereoisomerism part is done. Now let us move to the part of let me add some more pages. Right, now we are in the part of mutarotation. Right, what is mutarotation? Right, mutarotation. So what is mutarotation? In mutarotation, what happens is basically, as we've learned before, anomerism, right? We've learned that there is alpha and beta anomers. For example, if suppose this is the glucose ring, right? This is 1, this is 2. So if this is alpha, consider that here is the hydrogen and here is the OH. Consider this is alpha, and in second case, in beta, the OH will remain at the top and H. Okay, so this is basically anomerism. Now the process of interconversion, the interconversion between alpha and beta forms is basically known as mutarotation. Okay, when a molecule is put in water, okay, then the rotation is studied. Mutarotation is studied by basically rotation of the plane polarized right. Okay, and this interconversion between alpha and beta anomers is known as mutarotation. Now coming to the last part of the question, which is glycoproteins that are present in, or now oligosaccharide or carbohydrates that are present in glycoproteins, right? Glycoproteins. Okay, so glycoproteins are basically what? Glycoproteins are equal to protein which is covalently bonded to one or more oligosaccharide. Okay, so a protein molecule that is covalently bonded to one or more oligosaccharides, this is known as a glycoprotein. The oligosaccharide, what are oligosaccharides? We know already that on hydrolysis of oligosaccharide, they will give us 2 to 10 monosaccharides. Now oligosaccharide. So structurally, I can describe it like this. Suppose this is the cell membrane, right? This is the cell membrane. This is the cell membrane, and suppose this is a protein. Consider this as the C terminal, and this as the N terminal. Then this protein will be attached to some oligosaccharides, right? These are the oligosaccharides. They may be of varying complexities. They may be branched or unbranched. Okay, so this whole thing that we are seeing, this is the central protein part, and this carbohydrates or oligosaccharide change that is attached to this protein part, this whole thing is known as a glycoprotein. So what type of carbohydrates are present in glycoprotein? They contain oligosaccharide, and usually they are present in cell membrane, also present in glycocalyx. Antibodies also contain glycoproteins. So hope I was able to explain the question. Thank you for watching.